Being actively contested is the seat currently held by Bill Magnarelli, Democrat. He's being challenged by a Republican gentleman by the name of Rick Zaccaria, who joins us now. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good, Bob. First, let me thank you for your service to our country.
I appreciate that. It was my privilege. Were you ever in the military yourself, sir? No? Or?
I was not, sir. I was not.
But I see you're a proud member of the National Rifle Association?
Absolutely. I'm a Golden Eagle in the National Rifle Association, life member.
2 thumbs up on that. So we're reading the same magazine every month then.
That's
very
right.
Good. A little bit of background about yourself. Who are you, please, sir?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a businessman. I've been a small business owner for many years. Built my own business from the ground up, locally. And beyond that, I'm a husband and a father, a concerned citizen, and a taxpayer.
Excellent. And what sort of business have you worked in, sir?
Well, I'm in the hearing aid business. If you've ever heard of Ashton or Beltone locally, that's me.
Mm-hmm. If I understand, your dad had a company. You took that over, and you worked some wonders with it, and what had been a one-shop operation became multiple location. You drew the big out-of-towner to buy you out, and I imagine that went in a really happy direction for you.
Well, for the family. It was always a family-run operation, even after my father stepped out. At height, I had both of my brothers, a sister, both of my daughters, a nephew, and my wife all working for me in the company. So yeah, it was always a family affair, and the buyout certainly did take the family in a good, positive direction.
You betcha. Rick Zaccaria joins us, Republican running for Assembly. Why are you a better candidate, sir, than Assemblyman Magnarelli?
Well, we look at a lot of things that's going on in this state. I've been walking around, and everyone says the same thing, that they think the state's heading in the wrong direction. And we're heading in the wrong direction. Electing the same guy for the 9th time is probably not going to change it in a positive direction. We've got a lot of issues. We've got the highest taxes in the nation. We're the most regulated and least business-friendly state in the nation, and I know that from personal experience. We have the highest property tax in the nation, 3 times the national average. None of these things are going to change with Bill Magnarelli in office.
You don't get a different outcome by, doing the same thing.
Correct.
Sometimes the argument against Republicans running for the Assembly is, well, up in Albany, it really doesn't matter what you want to do. It's what you can get out of the leadership. And the Democrats who run the Assembly are never going to let a Republican do anything. What do you say to that, please, sir?
Well, actually, that's a question I've heard a couple of times, and the answer is always the same. If we don't know about an issue, how do we rally around it? The way Republicans can get things done in Albany is by threatening the third party in Albany, the incumbent party. When you have an issue that's big, and we have a couple of very big ones, the way that you can change the outcome is by rallying people around it. The people need someone, a leader, to show them the way. Bill Magnarelli is not that leader. Bill Magnarelli is a vote for Democratic leadership. We need someone who will point out the issues and rally the populace around the issues. That's how you make change. You shine a light of truth on it.
Speaking of Rick Zaccaria running for Assembly, I think it's rickzaccaria.com. Is that right, the website, sir?
That's correct.
Zaccaria. What are the big issues, you believe?
Well, this year, taxes and jobs are the biggest issues. We've got a man who's voted to raise taxes 381 times in his career. 381 times. So if you don't like taxes, this is not the guy for you. We've got Common Core, which is a massive issue, huge, affecting our children every day. This is a guy who voted to keep Common Core in place when he had the opportunity to vote against it. Our schools are suffering. 6 school districts that he represents have lost over $121 million in aid due to a vote that he made in 2010 to cut education. We've got the SAFE Act, which turned millions of New Yorkers into criminals overnight. We've got our kids fleeing this state. Look, I know you have a lot of listeners, a lot of people that are my age and even older. How many of them have to wait until the pictures are posted on Facebook or sent them an email to see their grandkids' Halloween costumes? Our kids are running away because there's no jobs, there's no future, and there's no opportunity. That has to change. I want my kids to stay here. I want to see my grandkids.
Speaking of Rick Zaccaria, Zaccaria, rickzaccaria.com, running for Assembly against Bill Magnarelli, is you mentioned schools and funding for schools and Common Core. We know the taxes are too high. We know that the money from Albany isn't high enough. We know that Common Core is too restrictive. Are there other aspects or things in the schools you'd like to see changed?
Well, first and foremost, we need to return the decision-making to the parents and the teachers locally. New York has one of the toughest regimens to become a teacher. Master's degrees. My wife was a school teacher for 12 years. We know. Why does New York not believe in their teachers anymore? Why do they think that after all that education, all they can do is proctor a test? It starts with education. We get the generation we educate. So Common Core is a very big issue. Our schools need help, but we need a lot of other help. Syracuse school districts are one of the worst rated in the state. We need a lot of issues beyond dollars. Throwing money at a problem is not the way to solve a problem. The problem starts by getting to the root of the issue, and most of the issues, especially in the city schools, start at home. We need to have better support for our children, both in the class and out.
What you mentioned the SAFE Act, and those of us who care about it intensely. Some others couldn't give a hoot. What would you do with the SAFE Act, please, sir?
Well, the sad reality of politics is, if I had my option, the SAFE Act would have to be completely repealed. The purpose behind it, it doesn't serve. It doesn't serve that purpose. If it's to try and make people safer, which is ostensibly the idea, it certainly doesn't. It does nothing to prevent a mass shooting. It does nothing to prevent criminals from using weapons. It does nothing to prevent criminals from gaining access to weapons. What it does is it prevents citizens like yourself and myself from defending ourselves from those aggressive criminals. I mean, I would love to see a scenario of three gentlemen arming themselves to go rob a liquor store and saying, oh, wait, don't put 8 rounds in there. Because if we get caught for robbing this liquor store, that might be a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
The SAFE Act has to go. It was passed in the middle of the night. It doesn't pass democratic muster.
Yeah. Do you own firearms yourself, sir?
I do.